If you are pumped up about Michigan's victory against LSU last night and the Wolverines moving on to the Sweet 16, give me a Go Blue down in the comments. I want to know how many of you guys are as pumped as I am about the Wolverines making it to the Sweet 16 for the 4th straight March Madness. And while you're down there, make sure to follow us on the Newsbreak app. We're going to break down some of the factoids and little statistical nuggets of Michigan, Florida State, and the tournament in whole here on Michigan Basketball News from Chat Sports on the Newsbreak app. So let's get into it. I'm in the Chat Sports podcast studio here on Newsbreak, giving you some little nuggets of information. I want you guys to be texting with your friends, to be bragging on social media, message boards, wherever you spend your time in person, on the internet, talking about your Wolverines. Let's start about what we know, what everybody knows. It is Michigan versus Florida State. No Thursday, Friday games this year for the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. They're doing it Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday, kind of early prime time, late prime time on Monday and Tuesday for those Elite 8. So it's a little bit different this year. Don't get caught off guard. Not going to be any games on Thursday, not going to be any games on Friday. So one half of the bracket will play on Saturday. There's 4 games, and then Michigan will play on Sunday. They are the third of 4 games that night. This game, though, is going to be on CBS for this one. If they advance, which we'll talk about in a second, Tuesday, those games are actually on TBS, which I kind of find a little bit annoying, but nevertheless, I think that CBS should have opened up the vault if they had the opportunity. Maybe that's how the contract works. I don't know. Who cares? You probably have cable. If you don't, stream it somewhere on the internet. Michigan is favored by 3 against Florida State. Over-under is 43.5. If you get into those kind of things, the Wolverines are the favorite. Over-under, projecting both teams to score, the 70 to 72, 73-point range is where that over-under lies. Based on these teams' history, which really means nothing in this 2021 season, I would definitely hammer the under on that because they definitely don't score a ton of points in their recent historical matchups, which we'll talk about here in a second. But some brag-worthy things for you as a Michigan fan to talk about this week. Michigan now, after their 2 victories this week, they are standing alone as the most wins in the NCAA tournament over the last 8 years, since and including the 2013 March Madness. So they have 20 wins, and it's actually going to kind of be a dogfight between them and Gonzaga to see who exits 2021 in this James Yoder mythical 8-year blue blood title that I've created by myself. But most wins since 2013 NCAA tournament. Michigan with 20, Gonzaga with 19, and then Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky all have 18 wins in that time frame in the tournament. So if Gonzaga goes further than Michigan, 1 game further, then they'll be tied after the season. But if they go 2 games further, say Michigan loses in the Elite 8, Sweet 16, Gonzaga goes on to the championship game, whatever it is, Gonzaga could actually end up with that little crown, which, it's always fun to make the stats fit your narrative, especially as a Michigan sports fan. Haven't had much to brag about at football lately, so you got to brag about something, and we will do so with basketball. But I'll ask you guys this question. Go down in the comments. I already asked you to comment, Go Blue. Give me your score predictions, right? We've still got 5 days until the game. Filming this here on Tuesday, a night after Michigan beats LSU. Have Florida State coming up on Sunday at 5 o'clock Eastern. Give me your score predictions for this game. I want to hear from you guys. Michigan 3-1 all-time versus Seminoles. I'll talk about that here in a second. But 3 years ago when they faced off in the Elite 8, Michigan won 58-54, a very low-scoring affair. So give me your score predictions below in the comments. Now, some more brag-worthy factoids. Only 2 schools currently have a 4-year Sweet 16 streak. Michigan and Gonzaga, right? Both teams are in that left side of the bracket. Gonzaga, number 1 seed in the West. Michigan, the number 1 seed in the East. And the other team with a decent streak, there's a few with 3 years, but one of those is Florida State, which is kind of exciting to see Michigan playing the Seminoles, a team that has 3 straight Final Four appearances, 2018, 2019, and then now here in 2021. So Michigan with 4 straight, Gonzaga with 4 straight, and then a small handful of schools with 3 straight, Florida State being one of them. Let's talk about the last meeting. It was the Elite 8 matchup. Michigan was off to a pretty decent lead, was in control most of the game. Florida State kind of came roaring back the last 4 or 5 minutes. I remember being nervous as hell. And if you guys remember, this is the Leonard Hamilton, the coach of Florida State. Michigan was up by 4 points with like 30 seconds, and he decided just not to foul and let Michigan run out the clock, which was mind-boggling to me, but, breathe a sigh of relief given that Michigan didn't have to risk it by going to the foul line and you miss a free throw or two. Florida State hits a 2 or a 3, and it could have been a whole different ball game. But that was the last time these two teams faced off. Michigan is 3-1 all time versus the Seminoles. Kind of go over those matchups. Michigan beat Florida State in the NIT championship in 1997, 82-73. The NIT quarterfinals, a little not too brag-worthy about these appearances, but NIT quarterfinals, Florida State won 87-66 over a pretty bad Michigan team that year. 2013, they played in the Puerto Rico tip-off down in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Michigan won that one 82-80 in overtime. Wolverines down 16 points in that matchup. Came roaring back to tie it up and then win it in overtime. Nick Stauskas with 26 points on the game to lead the Wolverines in that one. And then the 2018 Elite Eight, Michigan winning that game 58-54. And that is some factoids on Florida State, Michigan, Gonzaga. Look, I've got my eye a little head on Gonzaga. I'm already rooting against them, hoping that they get taken out by somebody else because they look pretty dang good. I'm not sure how Michigan would match up against the Zags in this year's tournament. The way I look at it, with 16 teams left, Gonzaga has 4 of the probably top 8 or 9 players left in this entire tournament. But the odds have been updated. Michigan has now jumped back ahead of Houston. They've got the 3rd best betting odds at plus 650. So if you're into that sort of thing, if you put 100, what that means, put 100 down. If Michigan wins it all, you get your 100 back plus $650. Behind Gonzaga, obviously, number 1. Baylor, number 2. Gonzaga is almost even money to win the whole thing at this time. So clearly, the sportsbooks know what they're talking about. They think Gonzaga is as good as probably you and I do as well. But Michigan does have plus 120 odds to make the Final Four to win the East region, but it's not by a long shot by any means. I want to read these off to you guys. Michigan's plus 120, so nearly even money, but Alabama's right behind them at plus 150, the number 2 seed, and then Florida State plus 325. If they get by Michigan, obviously it'll be probably plus 150 or so with Alabama going into the Elite Eight if those two teams should match up. Number 11 seed UCLA, 3 impressive victories actually overall. They beat Michigan State in that playing game. They are plus 700, so certainly not likely by any means, but those are the odds for the East region. If Michigan beats Florida State on Sunday, the next game will be Tuesday. So the East and the West brackets are playing on Sunday and then Tuesday for the Elite Eight. One game is at 7 o'clock Eastern. The second one, 9:45 Eastern on Tuesday on TBS. It's not going to be announced which one Michigan's playing in if they win. It's going to be based on what's going to draw the biggest TV ratings. If Gonzaga is still in it, and they're playing in their Elite Eight matchup in the West bracket, I would suspect that they would have the later bracket or the later time window, 9:45 Eastern, so it'd be 6:45 on the West Coast where they're located, and you get more of their fans off work able to watch the game. So probably as long as Gonzaga stays in it, they're in the Elite Eight. Expect Michigan, if they win, to be playing 7 o'clock Tuesday, 7 Eastern. Michigan is favored by 3 points. Once again, the over-under 143.5 on this one. And if they win Sunday, they will play again Tuesday. You've been watching Michigan basketball news and rumors from Chat Sports. Follow us here on the News Break app. Make sure you get every single video. It will show up on your follow tab, and you won't miss a single video on Michigan basketball. And oh, by the way, keep your eyes out for some more Michigan football news as we get into the weekends. Wolverines were slated to get back on the spring practice on Sunday, but because Michigan basketball is playing, word is that they're going to be pushing it back until Monday, so we might have some more content for you, depending on how the basketball things go, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week with the Wolverines. That is all for today's show. Once again, I'm James Yoder from Chat Sports. We will see you next time.